Okay, I've had a few logistical issues here. Hopefully this will take. Welcome to another Ayerdi devotional from Ayerdi. Not all of them are. This devotional is titled, How to Start the Day. Pretty important issue, don't you think? And then the verse is Psalm 118:24. Many of you have this verse memorized, and maybe some of you, like I do, read it every single day because it's got some great instruction. It says, "This is the day which the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it." Wow, there's a lot in that verse, a lot. And so I'd like to look at it phrase by phrase. Who do you talk to when you first wake up, when you all of a sudden realize, another day, another morning? Who do you talk to? Well, it might be your spouse, maybe the coffee maker, I don't know. But very soon, it should be the Lord who gave you another day. He's in eternity. For him, the days aren't like ours. We wake up to a new day all the time, but he's from eternity. He doesn't live on earth where we're swinging around and the galaxies and all the configurations giving us days and months and years. He doesn't do that. Well, but he, through his psalmist, gives us some very clear instruction. This is the day, is how he starts. This, very specific, very pointed, very focused. This is the day. Don't worry about yesterday. Don't worry about tomorrow. Stop stewing over things you can't change and things that may not even happen. And focus on today that God has brought you to. This is the day, singular, which the Lord hath made. Very important, right off the bat. It's really not about us. It's not about me. I have woken up in a world on a day God has made. It is all about Him. And He's the one that allowed me to wake up. Wow, what a miracle, every day. Well, this is the day which the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Now, who wrote the psalm? We assume it was one person, one writer. Well, then why does he go into this first person plural? We will rejoice and be glad in it. Well, I think it's pretty clear that what he wants to do is he's saying, not just me, but everybody. Hey guys, believers of all centuries. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know his writing maybe is going to be perpetuated through all of history. But he's saying, let's do something on this day that God has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. So it's a kind of an encouragement for all believers who recognize that God woke them up to rejoice and be glad in Him. Now, sometimes you may wake up and there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of maybe tragedy, difficulties, tremendous obstacles, and it has to be an absolute decision, something we say, you know what, I'm going to do it. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. It's what God tells me to do, and I will do it. Other times you may wake up and everything's great and it's easy to do. What's easy many times is simply to forget. And when God wakes us up to a new day, we jump into the day and take off and never even stop to think and to thank. And definitely to rejoice and be glad in it. In what? That day. It's that focus. We should be living in the present and refuse to stew in the past or in the possible future and literally waste our time thinking on things that don't matter. They won't help at all. Whereas thinking about right now and what God wants me to do this morning, this afternoon, this evening, and rejoicing that He has given us life to do it, that's the way to live. Great instruction from this psalmist. This is the day which the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. I think there's a counterpart verse in the New Testament. You probably know what it is already. 1 Thessalonians 5:18. In everything give thanks, for this is the will of God. It's all in the present. Why? Because that's when we're supposed to live. We can't be obedient in the past. We can't even be obedient in the future. We can only be obedient now, in this day. May God help us to live this day as we should. As I was walking down from the farmhouse, I thought of something and figured I'd tack it on to the end here. It comes to mind that when Paul and Silas, there in Acts 16, were in a very bad situation, they began to rejoice and be glad in their day, and God chose to completely change their situation. Now that God doesn't always do that, for sure, but He can, and He did. And so maybe the Lord has us sometimes in situations that are not of our choosing, where we have to exercise faith to rejoice and be glad, and He's waiting for us to do that. And then He will change our situation. It happened in the past, and it can happen today. Just a thought. Whatever the case ends up being, let us rejoice and be glad in the day God has given us. Okay, that's it.